Hello, everyone. President Sabina, what an extraordinary honour that this is. Myself and Rory McKiernan shared a memory there during this week of the first time that Michael D. Higgins ran for president. There was a youth debate which we were involved in organising, and we just remembered this extraordinary energy. Young people are the hardest to impress, and when Michael D. Higgins finished speaking, the young people were stamping their feet and cheering, and that is not a joke. They weren't responding similarly to some of the other candidates. That's all I'll say about that. I think that Galway poets are possibly more famous for their stinging critiques than for their tributes. So I read this to my partner this morning, and I said, it's an unusual tone for me. I said, it's very gentle, and she said to me, it's not that gentle, Sarah. So here, I'll leave it to you. It is very gentle, I think. It's a poem called Lighthouses, and I just want to say that Caoimhe Butterly, who's here, has been speaking about how in times of monsters we have to be lighthouses for each other, and this is a poem about that, and with no further ado, I'll read it for you. Lighthouses. In the worst of times, look for the helpers, the bright spots, the lighthouses. The street seller throwing his oranges onto the tarpaulins of aid trucks stuck at the border with Rafah. Remember, in this Ireland, an apparent there is no alternative epicentre, where politicians and businessmen and technocrats offer us their limited visions of people living on enough crumbs from the market, on enough mirrors and trinkets to secure our appeasement. And while the commons, that which we share and depend on, trickles endlessly upwards, where the impotent cult of the centrist dads bang the drums for wars they won't fight in, where the myth of the entrepreneur has become one of the sacraments, where even a genocide apparently must be viewed pragmatically in case it affects our balance of trade payments. In these grimmest of times, all we can do is seek out the helpers, the lighthouses, the Muslim sisters of Era offering food without judgment, the women in Shannon trespassing, pitting their bodies against militarism. And later this week, the Free Gaza flotilla will sail again, brave people breaking the siege. And Mike Ryan and Kneecap and Bleeny Negrali, all in their different ways, speaking our history as solidarity at the exact time that it's needed. And remember that twice over, 1 million of us voted for a president who all his life stood against empire, who loves dogs and soccer and takes time to write poems about donkeys, whose treatises on Habermas and the public sphere might defeat us, but when provoked by injustice, his fury is white-hot and righteous, and he speaks for us, who still carries the message of the non-aligned movement, that aspiration that peace-loving nations can collaborate to mutual benefit for their people, for this planet and every single thing in it, who shows us that intellect and sentiment aren't opposites, that the best of all politics is local and global and hopeful, that no cause is too great or too small to fight for. In the grimmest of times, seek out the helpers, the lighthouses, and remember when you think no change is possible, that twice over, more than 1 million voters chose hope and radical empathy. Never doubt for a minute that things can be different if, as Michael D. says, we'd only give up our old cynicism. Thanks very much.